Hello and very good evening. It's already been very late, so we'll start the session. I'm Nahid, a data scientist, and I'm a data science mentor too at Mindx. Okay, so we all have joined here to have hands on experience on a project, on a real time project, which will include your Python coding skills along with database connectivity. When I say database, do you have any idea what is a database? What is a database? Any idea? You see, we can speak, or else you can text. So, databases are nothing but a place where we store our data. We have two types of databases, that is relational database or non-relational database. So relational databases are nothing but where we store our data in the form of tables. So today we'll learn Python programming along with database connectivity. So let me start with a small introduction. What is Mindx Solutions? Mindx Solutions is an IT training institute located at Maratahali, Bengaluru. We provide certified courses in data science, Python full stack, Java full stack, automation testing, manual testing, machine learning, Power BI, Tableau, and generative AI tools. So, why do you have to join Mindex? See, there are lot of institutes which are giving this training. Why do you have to join Mindx Solutions? Because all the faculty are industry experts and we believe in giving one on one training. That is, each and every learner are valuable to us. We have some of the people who are already learning in our institute, they know it better because we value each learner and we focus on training individual person. See, whatever degree you have acquired, that is just an qualification or which will make you eligible for the job. But whatever knowledge we have acquired during our college, it will not fetch us a job. We make you industry ready. What does it mean by industry ready? Like, we provide a a practical knowledge into each and every aspect of the set topics, and we will give you certain hands-on experience on individual topic and will make you work on different workshops. All these projects you can include in your resume also, that will make your resume stronger and it will have a positive impact on the interviewer or the recruiter. So today Our workshop is on Python along with database interaction. We have designed a project called Software License Management System. So, when I say software license management system, what do I mean? So, all the companies, for example, even you at your home, when you are working like on certain sensitive data on your laptop, you don't risk, attack of certain viruses on your software systems. So you'll have one, security systems like Kaspersky installed in your system. That Kaspersky you have to buy on an annual basis, right? We have to buy the license that will protect your OS for a year. So you should know that when you might have bought that license for protection, and when is the expiry, and how many people have the access. And we buy certain subscriptions. As if you are running a company, you will need many more packages like this to, to have membership on something, to have premium membership and all. And and you need to provide, just think of you as an entrepreneur, or a person who has started a IT business. So, after buying all these licenses, you need to provide access based on the usage. You will be having different persons or different employees based on their job role using different software licenses. Those you need to provide access to person who can use it, who doesn't have the access to use certain softwares. And how can you get any alarm, or like if any of the software licenses are about to expire, you should get a reminder. So we all will be using wi-fi's, and even your mobile data, you'll get alarms, right? If your uh, like wi-fi subscription is about to end or anything like that, we do get SMS. So we are designing a project or a web application which will give you reminder if any of your licenses are expiring. And here you can add new descriptions. So this is the layout, or design, the front end of the web application, how it looks like after hosting it onto the website. Here you should have a license key, software name, and license type, of date of purchase and the expiry date, number of seats, or license cost, how much it does cost, and where you have bought the license from, that is vendor information, and associated contacts, like anyone associated with the purchase. So let's start this project. Okay. How does this looks in the coding part? Here, both for the front end and the back end, I have used Python. Normally, whenever we have an web application, the front end part is designed by using HTML and CSS, that is solely used for front end developing. So the all the coding we do in HTML, and styling we use CSS. We have designed, as it is a solely Python project, I have used a beautiful library called Streamlit, which will make you design the front end of the application. As I said, my project is Python with database connectivity. You need to have any of your uh, SQL database. Here I am using SQL database downloaded on your PC. I have MySQL here. And whenever we have databases, we need to establish connection with Python. to store and to fetch the data which is stored in SQL or any kind of databases. If my screen is visible, this is how this would look like, and you have to click on this local instance. This is the overview of MySQL Workbench. Okay, so whenever we need to establish connection, we need to give this kind of connection parameters like host is localhost. Let's just speak about MySQL connectivity. So before entering, I did select like on the local host and root what is the user and some password. Okay, you have to provide this password while you're logging into that workbench. When you have installed it, you have to provide that password and name of the database. So you can name your database however you want to. These are the connection parameters. If you see, okay, any how many of you have knowledge into Python coding? Just text S. Okay, Adri has, Anusha. Okay, that's totally fine, Vinod, because Python is very easy language. Anjali also has idea in Python and Tanzil Raza. That's great. So Python is very easy language, Vinod. See, it is equivalent to human language, how we are communicating just now. So we call it high level easy. Python is easy and high level. Why are we calling high level and easy both? Because both are antonyms, right? Easy and high level are like, if you say, both are antonyms, but opposite exactly. But where when we consider we as humans are the highly evolved creatures, as it is equivalent to human interaction or human communication, we call it easy and high level language. So Python, whenever I'm writing a code in Python, it is.
Ma'am, we can't see screen.
Yes, I haven't shared it, so I just wanted to look at your chat. Okay, I will be sharing, website link to uh, download MySQL with you guys. Okay, so if you visit this website which I've shared in chat, you can download MySQL and follow certain YouTube videos which are available. I suggest using Amit Things because he has, given step by step guide of how you can install on both Windows 10 and Windows 8. Even if you are using this Linux, also that's also fine. Based on the operating systems, you can follow any of. I have shared this Amit Things YouTube video link also for downloading or installing. So you can follow the link for download and installation. How can you install it? Like you can follow this YouTube video for installation guide of MySQL, and you need to have Visual Studio installed. Okay, this is one more application where you can code using the Python. Okay, hope my screen is visible. So this is how Visual Studio Code looks like. So you need to have Visual Studio Code installed, and after installing you need to install Python extensions. Like you need to have Python here as an extension. See, you need to press on this and you need to click on what you want. So I have all my Python extension installed. This is how it will look. If you have not installed, it will show us install button. And Python environment. See, these are all more extensions related to Python. You need to have Python environment manager installed. And first and foremost thing is you need to create virtual environment to host. See, in today's class we'll learn what are the requirements of this project, how you can have everything ready to make this project. Okay, so I'm explaining all this. We need to create virtual environment in your Visual Studio Code. How can you do that? See, if you see here at the bottom, lala. So here, if you press, if you see at the bottom, you have this, right? UTF-8, CRLF, Python, and after Python, I do have this extension with the installed version of Python. Right? If I click on this, as I have already created this environment here. If you see, this is 3.9.20 my env. This is an environment, a virtual environment, how I have created. If you want, I'll just open some, okay, some py file, and we can choose this already created environment, or you have to click on create virtual environment. To create virtual environment on your Visual Studio Code, whatever file which has your Python code. So, file with your Python code has this .py extension. So, your .py file should be stored on your system locally. What do I mean by storing your .py file on your system locally? You need to store it on your C drive or your desktop or D drive, wherever you want to, and you have to open that file from there. So let me just select this, it will vanish away. So you need to go to files and you have to open the folder here. So I have clicked on open the folder. I have stored it here in this folder, and I'll select the folder. So now, as I've already opened it, it's not reopening the file. So whenever you have to work, or if you want to host a website, this is how you have to store your .py file in a folder locally on your system. And while opening the Visual Studio Code, you have to open that folder, not the file. Okay, you need to open that folder. And first and foremost thing we have to do is establishing connection to my database, because as my project has this like thing that even if you are adding new software licenses, as you give the details, like as we have seen it here, I have to provide the details and then click on add license, and I need to assign certain person certain licenses. As I have clicked on add new license here, this is what it is displaying here in the drop down. Oh, great. Sorry about that. Oh, see here, add new license, assign new license, or assign permissions or the options which we have provided. You need to choose on an app option to do the further operations. So let's start with the database connection. And here I am assigning these connection parameters to one variable called con. And whenever we are working on MySQL, I need to import this library. And before importing, I need to have it installed on my desktop by using this command pip install pymysql. You have to run this in your terminal. So how can you add a terminal? You have to click on these dots here, click on terminal, new terminal you add. So you'll have one PowerShell terminal. Here you have to write the command, okay, pip install and whichever package you want to install. As I have already installed it, it will show requirement satisfied when I run this. Requirement already satisfied. If you're running it for the first time, it will show all the download status. Okay. You need to have for this particular project, you need to have this PyMySQL installed on your system. Okay. Let me close this terminal and using PyMySQL package pymysql.connect, and these connection parameters I'm passing as an argument here. So dot connect is the existing function in or module in pymysql package. Okay. So whenever I say function, that should be followed with parenthesis. And within the parenthesis, this connection parameters I'm passing as an argument. And I am defining what is a cursor. Cursor is equals to connection dot cursor. Okay, this dot cursor is also already existing function in PyMySQL package. This is how you need to establish connection. Now MySQL connection has been installed established just by writing these parameters and defining these two lines. Okay, any doubts till now, guys? Any doubts? How many of you have GitHub account? So you can text, no issue. How many of you have a GitHub account? So at least you raise your hands. This is just to know that whether you're active. Yeah, Vishnu has it. Okay, Sai Kumar has, and two more. Okay, okay, Himashri also has. That's nice. For people who doesn't know what is GitHub, GitHub is a platform where you are going to store your projects. Either it can be an any software testing project or your Python project or your any data science related project or even any kind of SQL project. Whatever commands you write, this is the best platform to store your projects. Like you have to log in, sign up for the GitHub using the Gmail ID, and you can store all your projects there. And whenever you're preparing your resume, you have to give link to your GitHub account. And if you are specifying any projects, you can provide your project link also. Okay, you have to sign up and then you have to open this repositories. You have to click on new repository. You can store one or more projects on the repositories, and GitHub will allow you and your team members to develop a project simultaneously. Like if I have started a project along with my colleague, or you can start it with your friend, you can share access. Or whenever you're clicking on new repository, it will show that project with your as whether it is a collective project or an individual project. Okay. So it will ask you permissions for that. And there, where you when you click, like you and if some other person has started this project, both of you can write. If I am developing a project in my VS Code, it is restricted to my local system and only I can write the code at once. But GitHub will allow you to start a project with your colleagues or with your friends. You both can develop that project and you both can modify that project if you want. Okay, most of the companies, like development companies, they use an advanced version of GitHub that is has more security, and that is called Bitbucket, where we have to register our system using the system key, and then only personals who have granted access can work in Bitbucket. That is also a Git version. Okay, and whenever I am creating a table, how many of you have knowledge into MySQL or any kind of SQL? How many of you have knowledge? You can raise your hands. That's totally fine. Just to keep you guys engaged. Okay. Okay. Sai, Redamma, Manan Hamid, Pushpa, Himashri, Vishnu Sai, Kartik, and Anusha. That's great. People who doesn't have prior knowledge into SQL, as I said, here in SQL, I'll just open any of database. And here, as we call, see, normally everyone have might have used, normally we create folders, right? That folder will have collection of items, or it might have multiple files within that, right? Just like we have databases here. Database is nothing but one folder where you store your multiple files. That files are nothing but your tables here. If you see, this is how your data would look like in your MySQL. So this part is your data. Okay, so I have table with some 22 rows here, 22 columns and multiple rows. Thousands of rows are there. So I'll not go to that. So this is how a relational database looks like, or SQL database. So this is one table. When I say one table, it is one file. So if I click on another table, we can view another file. So all the data is stored in the form of a table. So we call it a relational database management system. Whenever I have to create this table, I have to provide this column names and their data type. What is a data type, guys? Any idea what is a data type? You can unmute and speak, no issue. Always it is a two-way communication in class. If it is one way, again, you will
Which
feel bored.
defines the type of input.
Yes, data type is nothing but we have to provide what kind of data I am feeding into this uh, table. Like if I have to give integer data, I have to specify that here as an int. If I am giving date data, I have to specify that it is a date format. If I am giving any kind of text data, I have to define it in the form of var char. If I have to give some data which should be like, if I have to specify, for example, if I want to give certain data which should be in hundreds only, then I have to give it in decimal format. Decimal, this is also integer format, but I cannot give cost which is more than 100 here. See, I have defined decimal 100 and 2. And if you are specifying any text data, that also you can give. If you are providing any serial numbers, like for example, whenever we create tables, we give serial number, that would be auto incrementing. When I say auto incrementing, first row is 1, second row is 2, third row is 3, that is default. How, that's how we have been trained, right? Here I am telling my database to initiate a key which is an auto increment. Okay. So whenever I have to create a table, I should write it like this create table command. And if not exist, if the table is not there, it has to create a table called licenses here. This is the name of the table. Database name, while establishing connection only, we have specified. By using this, I can create a database, and after creating database, I am creating tables here where my data would be stored. And with using cursor dot execute command, I am creating a database. Whenever we have created a database, if you see this, see when I'm selecting from these tables or databases, it is automatically taking this command. If I want to use some other database, let me use this software license system. I have to write this command, use software license system, and after I have to select it, and I can run this command. Now when I click on it, it will use a database which we have stored here, software licenses. If I want to visualize or see any table, I have to use the select command. Select from, and name of the table I have to give. Also, what is the name of the table which we have created? That is licenses. See, I am able to fetch it because I have already run. So now it has fetched me this licenses table. This is how I have added multiple licenses here. If you see the table, license ID, which I gave as an auto increment. So just the serial number thing which we write in our tables while creating and writing tables. So how many of you have idea into Excel, guys? Basic knowledge into Excel. That's fine if not Excel. So license key, I am providing this license key, and software name, what kind of softwares I'm using, and type of this license, whether it is a single user, whether it is a multi-user, whether it is subscription based, that kind, and purchase date and expiration date, number of seats. Like for example, if I am purchasing certain licenses, some of the licenses are restricted to single user, you cannot provide access, and some of the licenses will allow you to grant access to a certain number of people. For example, MS Office, I'm provide, it allows, this is not this thing, but just like, for example, it might allow 10 people to use that, and Slack will allow 50 people to use it, and Zoom Pro will allow 25 people to have the access. So this is a number of seats where we are specifying how many persons can, how many persons access does this software allow. And license cost, how much of license, what is the cost of the license, and how much it is costing, and where we are buying that license from. So who's the vendor of the license system. This is how my data would be stored. Now we are just looking into how we can create the table. So when I create this table using this command, I can create only the structure of the table, just like the column names, and I have to give the input, or after creating the table, I need to add certain data to the table. Right, whenever I have created a structure, like I might have one backbone, and okay, I'm not using cursor here, that's fine. Just give me 1 minute, I'll just open whiteboard for you guys. So whenever I'm creating certain table using the create table command, I can, okay, I'll use a pen only so that it is easy for me to explain to. So one structure would be made, table structure just like this, using the column names, and I don't have any more rows below the column, but I can visualize the table format. For example, serial number, name, file access, something like that, license key, or whatever you want, information, purchase date. So this is how my table looks like after creation. If I want to insert some rows, I have to use the insert into and table name command in SQL. Here we are creating three kinds of table if you see. One is licenses, other one is users table, and I am creating license assignments table, where we are storing different kinds of data, like how I'm assigning certain persons access to certain licenses, that I'm storing it in different tables. And after writing the command, we need to give the commit command and connection. So it is our wish whether I want to close the connection or not after individual operations. And using the insert key command, here I'm defining a function. Best is you can just use insert into command. Just I want to make use of it, like I have to call this function whenever I am inserting new data also. So I'm defining it within a function called insert dummy data function. Okay, and within the function also I am establishing connection to the database, and using exception handling I am creating, or I'm inserting certain data into the table called licenses here. Similar way, and see, whenever I am inserting data, I need to write the table name and what are the column names. And within, see, just scroll it. Okay. Screen, I'm sharing the screen, right? Is it not visible to everyone, or only to Redama? Guys,
It's
kindly,
visible.
it is visible. Redama,
Visible.
kindly check your internet connection. Sometimes it will take little bit time to load the screen if you have weak internet, okay? Or else you can leave and then log in again. It's totally fine. So I need to provide the column names and its values. according to the column names in a serial order. See, I have all these columns and the data related to those columns. And after inserting into one table, that licenses table, I am inserting certain data into users table also. Who's the name, what is the name of the user, and what is their role, job title in that organization. Okay. And into the license assignments table also, I'm assigning certain values here, like license id, user id I am providing while creating this. Here whatever is the number that I'm giving user id, and assignment date, when I am assigning certain persons access to use certain licenses. After adding all this, this is mandatory, guys, to close the connection. So it is a good coding practice. When we are initializing connection, we need to close the connection. Here if you see, I am initializing this connection in this function, and at the end of the function I'm closing the connection. And so with connection dot commit key, I can execute. Like, what does commit key means? Like, whenever I'm writing certain code, see, I have to select it and I have to execute this code. So this is what dot commit key means in my Python coding. And I'm calling this function after writing the or whatever I want to include into that function. That is general format. Like whenever I have defined a function, I need to call that function to execute. Okay. And I am defining some other functions called get connection. Whenever I call this get connection function, it will return me this connection with databases. And add licenses is another function. See, as I've said, you need to give the column names and values. If you don't know what values you need to insert, you have to provide these placeholders with this percentage s symbol. Okay, these are nothing but placeholders for the values. Okay, we are defining another function called define assign license. So here you will be assigning licenses to your users. Let me run this, then you'll understand. If I host this application, how can you host any application after creating virtual environment? As I have already explained, how can you create virtual environment after writing the code. Streamlit run, and name of the file along with .py extension. So this is the command I have to write. Okay, invalid file does not exist, it is showing. Okay, see, I have given wrong name to the file. It is Delphi underscore project and .py file. So when I'm running, as you see, after running this command, it is automatically opening my application on the website. It is hosting with some port 8501, and I can visualize this application. Let me scroll down for you. See, I have to select whether I want to add the license, add new license, or assign license to certain person. So let's just go one line by line. So if I click on add new license, that means I am buying new license, and here I have to provide the license key. So just look at the format how I have given the license key value here. You need to follow. See, you might have used certain applications where you need to give the key in certain format only, or else it will return new invalid license, invalid input or invalid format, something like that. Okay, so I am providing one license key 011 and software name, let me say Canva. So we do all use Canva for presentation making and all. License type, whether it is a single user or multi user or subscription based. If I am using this premium, Canva premium, that is subscription based, and here I have to specify the license date, and default I have kept today's date. Like whenever I am using I am adding new license in here, even if I have bought it on today's date, that then only I'll be adding it. If not, you can reassign the value also, that is totally fine. But whenever I'm selecting, this is how I have written the code to take current date. And expiration date I'm adding, if I'm buying, let me assume that it has 1 year subscription. Normally Canva we buy on monthly basis, so okay, I might have bought it uh, yearly package. So next year 15th, like, then that's the end, right? So 1 year, I'm taking the expiration date and number of seats, how many people I can assign the access to. So this also I can define whether 1 or 10. And what is the cost of the license? Here, I have, when defining, when creating this table, license cost, I have limited it to hundreds value. So let me try putting 1000. Okay, 1000 rupees is the cost of the license, not rupees. Okay, I have actually defined it using dollars. So let me say that it is $350. And whenever I'm pressing enter, it is taking two decimal values as I have defined. Vendor information is, I am buying it from Canva only. So that's the name of the vendor, and associated contacts if there are any. Okay, I'll just add Mindx as the associated contacts. When I click on add license, if you see, it is throwing duplicate entry for LIC 011. That means I already have one license stored with that. So let me try giving 015, because here license key I have defined as a primary key. It will not take duplicates. So license added successfully, it is showing this success mesh. Okay, so let's rerun this. Like, if I want to see the table, I'm selecting the command. If I'm rerunning it, I had already 011 here, so it was showing this key error. If you see license ID, it is taking automatically. And see, why is, when I'm saying automatically, how come it is 441 and 875? Like, I have added multiple licenses and I have deleted them. And license key, if you see, like, this is a primary key. So whenever I am saying primary key, using this only, it will fetch all this information. So this is what we have added now: subscription basis, date of purchase, expiration date, number of seats, what is the cost of the license, and who's the vendor. And I have associated contacts also. So here I can provide any contact number, or any company name. That's totally fine from the vendor. As you can see, I have done certain operation on the web application. See, if you see, why am I calling this web application is, I have hosted it here on the website using streamlit run command. So it is equivalent. So if I want multiple users to use this app, I can upload it to some server and host it on any kind of servers, just like Apache, or I can host it on using render. I can host it on cloud platforms like AWS or Azure, so that you can download the application onto your local systems and you can use the same application, just like how we are using phone pay or internet banking apps, right? We all are using multiple applications. So if it is your phone pay application, this is how it does works. Like whatever, if you're transferring some amount, how it is updating automatically. Even our banks use these relational databases to store our information. So when I say relational database, it is nothing but SQL. So we have seen how add license works. So let's see assigning a license. How can I assign license? So license ID I have to provide. License ID is this number. If you see, okay, this number I have to provide license ID, and then I have to give the input. So let me take 849 only. That's the key, right? 740, oh, 75. 875 here. Username. Whom do I want to assign this license? So Mindx Solutions I'm providing as the user. And if I click on assign license, it is showing user not found. Why? Because I have a function defined here for the users. See, in your company, you need to define users. Like I have this like administrator, manager, regular user, support staff. We should assign the subscription or usage only to our staff members. This is my staff which I have defined while creating the table. I can use any user here. So let me take Bella and try to give the name. When I click on assign license, so it is showing license assigned to Bella, who's a manager. That is her job role or title of the job, with user ID 5. This is her ID. So if I have to, so if you want to get license expiry alerts, I have told it will show me the alerts on expiring licenses. Now I have almost 10 licenses expiry this year. Like, see, if you see, um, on 15th of January 2024, this license has expired. This license has expired on 1st of June. This license has expired on 20th of March 2024. This is how we can see expired licenses. Or so let me just add one more license, whose no license key I'll provide as LIC 012, and software name ABC software, and license type it is a single user. Okay, and purchase date, let me define this date to be okay. Let's say that this I have purchased on in the month of November on some 15th, and expiration date is just 1 month. Or okay, so it is 15th of December. Today is 16th, right? Number of seats is one. Cost of the license is some $25. Okay, and vendor information is ABC software, and associated contacts, let's say that 112233 is its contact number. So add license I'm doing, and when I'm clicking on add license, I'm getting one success message showing that license has been added. Let me rerun this code so that we can visualize. This is just for you to show how it is getting updated automatically in my database. If you see, 1066 is the license key, and this is how it is. Like, if you see, that license has already expired yesterday, right? But I'm adding it today. If you want to look at the license updates or alerts on the expiring licenses, it will show this newly added license also. You see, 1066 is the key, and this, it has expired yesterday. That's how you can manage your license systems, whether it has expired, or if any license is near to expiry. I have written a code that if only 15 days are remaining for the expiration of the license, then also it will show me in this license alert, showing this license ID, name of the software, what kind of the license I'm using, and when is the expiration date. Okay. If you have understood the application totally, let's go back to our coding. Any doubts till now, guys? Any confusion?
No, ma'am.
No, that's great, Hima. So whenever you are looking into some applications, as coding enthusiast or persons who are interested in learning coding, we need to understand what is happening in the background. See, explaining this applications front end, I have shown what is happening in the background, or at the back end, and how it is fetching that from the back end is because of the coding. Which, see, back end coding normally we do for any kind of web applications, we do use Java or Python for back end coding. Here I have developed this application using solely Python coding. Okay. After defining all the applications, we need to call these functions wherever necessary. Like, how my Python code is automatically taking all this input, and whenever I'm clicking on add license, how it is adding it into the database. See, now it is all empty. Now it is showing this warning message that expiration date must be after the purchase date. Why? Because default it will take today's date for the purchase date, and expiration date also today's date by default. That is how I have set it. You cannot have same day purchase and same day expiration, right? At least one day I should get this subscription, right? So it is showing me this error. If I change this, again it will throw me one error that I need to add license key. So okay, it has added this empty license. Okay, now if you see, everything would be empty here. I don't have any uh, thing, because this is a default single user, and as I've kept it as a drop down, it is taking the first default value. And license cost also, as I've kept 0.00 as the default, it is taking 0, and number of seats also, this is default 1, it is taking. I don't have name of the license, or the license key or software name. I said this is my primary key. License ID is my primary key. So once taking the primary key, I can add any kind of values, even null and not null values. So if everyone has understood this, we have created table in today's class, we have inserted certain values, how everything is getting updated and all, we can discuss in tomorrow's workshop. That's fine. Oh, any doubts, guys? Any doubts? Like, see, you can practice downloading this MySQL and follow the YouTube link for the installation purpose. And I'll share this key so that you can establish connection. How can you establish connection with your databases? This part of the code I'll share with you guys, so that whenever you're facing any kind of problem, you can raise that in tomorrow's session. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
No, that's great. So that means okay, have I been able to deliver it properly, or your super geniuses? Okay, we know that as you said, you don't have prior knowledge. Pushpa joined now. Okay, hello Pushpa.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, so did you rejoin the session or you just joined the session?
Reason, ma'am.
Okay, that's great. So I was asking whether you have any doubts till what we have discussed.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
No, okay, that's great. See, Pushpa's name is trending now.
Yes.
How do you feel about that, Pushpa?
My favorite name, ma'am.
Oh,
Pushpa.
that
Allu
you're your
Arjun fan.
favorite name. That's great. You're also Allu Arjun's fan. Great, guys. So, have you watched Pushpa too?
Yeah, ma'am. Completed.
See, one of my learners, she went for first day for show. Anusha,
Abba.
I'm speaking about you. Okay.
I thought she kept that movie name only.
Okay.
That's why I was laughing.
Okay, great, great. See, guys, if you don't have any doubts, we can end the session today. And in tomorrow's session, I'll explain how how my Python code is executing your user input. As you see, everything, whatever I am giving the input here, that is user defined input, and converting it into some data and storing it into databases. Vinod, are you there? Okay, has he left the meeting? Vishnu is there. Okay, I guess he has left. That's great because he said that he doesn't have prior knowledge into coding. I was focusing on his name. That's great, guys. So tomorrow we'll meet up and we'll wrap this workshop, and I will give this file link. I'll upload it into our GitHub, and I'll provide you with the file link tomorrow. File in the sense, I'll give you whole coding. Front end you have to develop using your own skills. This front end part I will share this one also, so that you can edit and change the layout. Like I am displaying, I'm using some background image, and I'm giving this software license management system as an heading, and I do have yellow background and blue font. You can change that according to your specifications. Okay, I am any doubts? If not, we'll end the session for today and we'll meet up sharp 7 o'clock tomorrow. I'm sorry for today. Okay. Tomorrow we'll join the session at 7 o'clock. Okay.
Ma'am,
Have a
doubt,
very
ma'am.
good. Yes, yes, Anusha.
Ma'am, that
Mm-hmm.
issue open AI, like that
Mm-hmm.
man dead from suicide. So that Elon Musk reacted like we want justice for that his death.
Okay, I'm maybe see. I had a great family weekend. I haven't focused on the current issues. I'll look into that issue, Anusha, and we'll
Okay.
discuss about that in tomorrow's session for sure.
Okay.
Okay, guys, have a great night. Good night. Bye.